Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. So we need to play one Shaman card and then 50 Mage cards, so in the interest of saving time, I guess we'll just immediately jump in here and play a Shaman card and then move on. Last recording, my list of topics to talk about was so full of the Steam rewards and listing off all the information there that that I had to rewrite everything else I had to talk about, and that filled up another board. So if I needed to go to 3 recordings, I probably could here, but I don't think I am, so let's move forward. One thing that definitely occurs to me is there is some kind of trick to timing and pacing yourself right. For instance, like local news and national news, those people every day have to fill a certain number of minutes, probably 22 minutes. There's our one card. We'll play it, we'll end our turn, and then when they come back, I'll just concede. Let's see. That'll be an interesting one for him. That's all I needed to do with that. Now I just need to decide where's our mage cards. Is it Battle Cry? Kinda has to be Battle Cry. Let's hope there's enough actual mage cards in our Battle Cry deck for that to work. Yeah, but there's definitely some level of timing that they figured out, and it feels like on local news for the ones that I watch, and I don't watch a lot of local news or news at all.
Anduin.
It feels like they're constantly talking fast.
You asked for
Although on some national 24-hour news channels, they get into conversations, and then those conversations go on forever. But it seems like they're always talking fast to get as much words in. So then when it's a slow news day, it seems like it's pretty obvious to everybody that it's a slow news day. Whereas I probably talk pretty slow. I also probably walk pretty slow too. But that's neither hide nor hair. But let's see. Magic spell, the next secret you play called Zero. And then this.
Spells are fun. So fun.
And then end your turn. I guess I should get better at that, and I'm certainly not getting better at it right now if I'm talking about things.
Injured?
Let's start at the beginning here. Shanti Half Genie Hero has come out. It made $776,000 on Kickstarter. The Shanti series really feels like a series that I have missed. It's a platformer series that is for PC. I don't think it has too many of their games have come to consoles. Certainly doesn't seem like that's the purpose. In a lot of ways, Shanti is possibly a different spin on the old Mario games. That might be a great way to look at it.
So fun.
I definitely feel like I'm missing out there. There aren't too many games on my wish list.
How many
of
fingers
games,
do you see?
or in my library of games I haven't played, which is pretty big in itself. But there aren't too many of them that where I've downright felt like the I really need to get them. There are certainly some, like the next Tomb Raider game I want to get. I think I want to get Doom Remake. Yeah, I want to get Doom Remake. Fallout 4 I want to get. So 3, maybe I could bump that list if I really thought up to 6, maybe even 12 games that came out actually in 2016 that I want to get. But not really anything you wouldn't think of if you gave it a few thoughts. A few seconds of thought. So that seems like a glaring hole in my knowledge. There are definitely shooters and sports games that I don't particularly have interest in purchasing that also would count. Cast a random spell that costs 5 or less. Target chosen randomly. Or do 4 damage. Let's try this. Interesting. I don't actually need to win here, I just need to play cards. Thumper now has Oculus Rift support, and that's kind of cool. Although I'm kind of down on Oculus Rift. It's all the VR headsets, even PlayStation VR, which is relatively cheap, have been just this flash in the pan as far as whether the gaming world is ready for it. I think the sleeper success we're going to find out is actually going to be high definition resolution, high dynamic resolution, HDR on monitors and gaming monitors and TVs. I think in the next 2 years we'll start seeing sets that can really handle that, and there is a full standard there, and it will be much more interesting. The idea of having extra color was first introduced with one brand of TVs having a whole extra yellow pixel in their screens, and that was several years ago. And so working up to it's been kind of just silently been worked on. So I think 2 or 3 years all TVs are going to start migrating to HDR, maybe local over there. Signals will migrate to HDR2, 4K. If that is the case, then we may see another one of those cases where everybody has to get new TVs or transformer boxes. I doubt it, though. I seriously doubt we would have another digital TV transitions just because they went to 4K and HDR resolutions. But I would definitely put my bet on HDR way more than I would put it on VR. Even though VR seems cool, it's just not ready for prime time. But somewhat related to the fact that Thumper's out for Oculus Rift, the guy that works for Oculus Rift, which is owned by Facebook, Palmer Luckey, still works for Oculus Rift, and they're going to announce his new role soon. Palmer Luckey has been in the news relatively recently because he spent money, a lot of money, giving it to a organization that was dedicated to posting bad memes and probably fake news and all kinds of just garbage. They call it poop posting to say it nicely.
We have many secrets.
And that's all they were about, and he gave money to them, and he knew he was giving money to that organization for pro-Trump propaganda. And I don't even think he was actually a Trump supporter. I think he was just a troll. Now, what's weird here is I couldn't confirm it or not if Palmer Luckey is also the guy that they're claiming stole a bunch of data from his previous job from a different company, and the different company is suing Oculus Rift saying he stole this from us. We had the idea for the Oculus Rift, and you're just ripping us off here. That may be Palmer Luckey, that may be somebody else. So that
did you bring some
I'm not certain. Talking about how news people can fill in time and talk fast is one. They do the research. They spend 8 hours a day doing the research to ensure that what they're saying is actually accurate, and
This time for sure.
that didn't work.
Job done.
Yeah, if I had done the research, I'd know if Palmer Lucky was that guy or not. Moving on to the next story, an official Overwatch webcomic. The Blizzard started going into publishing webcomics a little while ago. Has been banned. This Overwatch webcomic has been banned in Russia over a gay character being in it. And it's always worth remembering that Russia has a very intolerant stance on gays. In Russia, almost everybody equates being homosexual with being a pedophile. It means exactly the same because they've gotten so much propaganda, and this really goes right up to facts that Putin himself is is homophobic. So it goes right up to the president. Homosexuals have been beaten to death in the street. It's not a good place for those people at all. It's not the only bad place for them by far. There's plenty of other countries where similar and worse things have happened, but you can easily be confused or tricked into believing like Russia is more of a progressive first world country when at best it's a second world country economically, and just because it's big doesn't mean it's actually powerful. And I'm almost making a presidential speech myself here because President Obama's last speech was him saying very similar things, but not to get political. My point in this is a video game comic that they wanted to put out that would have been perfectly acceptable in the United States, Canada, the Western world, practically almost at least all of North America. Maybe some places in South America would ban it. I don't think it's been banned anywhere else. All of Europe, perfectly fine with it. Probably most of Africa would ban it. Australia would be cool with it. China, I don't think so. Japan wouldn't care one way or the other, so it would get
versus Jane.
You asked for
Middle
it,
East,
so
absolutely not.
It is on.
So there's some major markets there that video games can't or won't be accepted and can't or be sold in. And it's getting even weirder, particularly with China, because more and more the movie industry has been trying to sell movies to China, and they'll put in Chinese characters just to kind of pander. Rogue One is out, and it has a Chinese character specifically probably just to pander and make sure that Rogue One is one of the few movies that the Chinese government allows to be aired. It means billions of dollars, and it's dangerous for any industry, whether it's a movie industry or a video game industry, to start changing their artistic vision, compromising their artistic vision to allow the game to be put out more in more places. If we all live by the censorship of China, it's going to be a very restrictive world, or the censorship of Russia. That is not the world I want to see for video games. That would mean a lot of topics would be banned. Chinese people do not like skeletons, so all games with skeletons, Skyrim is a good example there. There's plenty of skeletons in Fallout. Imagine those games just not existing, not being allowed to exist. That's very scary. And if it's a soft censorship through economics, like the movie industry kind of is, it's not good. Not good at all. And it probably could be, if you did enough research, directly attributable to why movies are one of many reasons, I'm sure, why movies are getting worse and worse. And that's not how we want the video game industry to go. I still see the video game industry very much as a growing, like, beginning of an industry. I don't see it as a mature industry even yet. Partially because the video game industry kind of renews itself, and companies shut down and then they start up again, and things like THQ go crazy and spend too much money, and
Can I light your fire?
and then they go out of business, and then people, THQ Nordic buys their names and the licenses to their games, and then THQ Nordic will just change its name right down to THQ, is what everyone's assuming. Speaking on that lines, a debuting game studio, which is releasing this game called Sacred Fire, which looks a little interesting. It's probably, the trailer is showing off of the best of it, and honestly that's not much, but probably. But they got really lucky, and they got the voice actor from Witcher 3, Geralt of Rivia, the main voice actor, and that certainly got them at least some press. So even if you're only going to hire a voice actor to do your trailer, hire somebody big. It'll get you some. Let's see. Playing all these card games. Let's move forward. Let's see, how long have we been going? Crytek has broken its silence, and it's going to close multiple studios. And what's interesting about this, and it's really right on the same theme, I didn't mean to make a theme here, but it is Crytek is a German company, but they're closing studios that they apparently had in Hungary, Bulgaria, South Korea, China, and Turkey. And they say they're going to pay the employees salaries. So somehow they've got money somewhere. Crytek, to catch you up, has been behind several months on several different occasions paying its employees. One of the employees set up a Kickstarter to sue them for lost wages. Of all the countries that are getting shut down, I bet none of them have any laws or that could actually be enforced for wages earned. So these seem like countries that would be very easy to commit wage theft on. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't pay any of these people. But also, this is absolutely the worst way to make a video game. Crytek is kind of only important about its Crytek engine anyways, but like there's the Crytek engine, and then I think the game is called Crysis that comes out, and it's kind of just used as a good way to benchmark games.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
Give me a secret.
Job's done.
But yeah, it's an awful way to make a video game. Have one group in Hungary doing something, have one group in Bulgaria doing another part of the game, one group in South Korea, one group in China, one group in Turkey. Turkey, Islamic country, no homosexuality in there, so there you have another you have another
Excuse
country
me,
that
you
would
are on fire.
soft censor Crytek's vision if they wanted to put a homosexual character in their game, that one of their offices couldn't work on it at all. Probably at all. Like, even if they're not working on that part, you'd probably have to dance through hoops and not tell them what they were doing, and they still, all the employees there might end up getting in trouble
Right away.
for working on a game that ended up having a gay character in it. China, another country on that list. We just talked about China's censorship issues. There's a whole bunch of it that the China will censor, and it's not. It kind of changes every day. South Korea, kind of liberal, but kind of also dictatorship. Like, I don't think they care about gay things. I don't think they care about a lot of things. But of the things that they do care about, if you cross them, you're going to feel the wrath of South Korea, because the laws are extremely strict in South Korea. We know that South Korea is, I think, just passed a law about if you hack a game, you could go to jail. South Korea strictly punishes people for chewing gum. So it's illegal to chew gum. It's probably strictly punishes people for littering and similar things. I'm kind of just guessing there. Bulgaria and Hungary. I don't know enough about Hungary or Bulgaria to even say anything. But I do know none of those are in Germany, where their main company is. And that's a problem. That is a huge problem.
Wanted, dead or alive.
There we go.
Thanks.
I think I would very much prefer all video game companies stay small to medium, and we don't have things like EA, Ubisoft, and have companies with multiple offices. It doesn't make sense. Video games companies are not banks. They don't need branches everywhere. Let's see. They're not McDonald's. They don't need franchises. Even Gearbox has decided to open a second office in Quebec, and I kind of feel like that's a huge mistake too, because they're not really succeeding at...
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
What's the right word? They're really not succeeding at having... Let's go kill this. At getting Borderlands 3 out. They're kind of stalling, and they're publishing Bulletstorm, and they're republishing Duke Nukem. There's a lot of growth there, but their core creations, their core original products of Borderlands is not really there, and I don't know Gearbox for anything else. It's not. Let's see. Deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. Sergeant Sally. I haven't even seen this card before. Let's see. Let's...
Job's done.
Interesting. So, yeah, I just wish these companies would stay to one office. Focus on what you're creating. If somebody else wants to go somewhere else and do something different, form a new company. Don't, or just have have a different project in the same office. The actual physical barrier is the problem. There we go.
Excuse me, you are on fire. Freeze!
See, that did 1 damage to all of them. I would need a spell to increase that sergeant's power. Let's see, how much more time do we have? Well, I guess I kind of have a little bit more to talk about. And we're going to not get all of the mage cards played. Obviously.
Such big teeth I have.
So I need to go one more. And then I can move on for my day. It's 8:13 and I've really been I've been starting later and later and just staying up till like 5 in the morning recording. But recent opponent would like to be your friend. Sure. Why not? Now, of course, the risk is when they do something like that, they're going to immediately send us a text. So I need 18 more mage cards. We'll do that in the next recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can go to my main YouTube page. On the right, there's a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. See, they want to spectate me for quests. Let's say sure.